What is going on, y'all? We are back for another day of the Parlay Ole Bets Best Bets show. As always, I'm your host, Andrew. I'm the owner of the Parlay Ole Bets Discord, and we're going to be breaking down Unrivaled. There are two games today, and we also have the NBA slate, a very big NBA slate. But as women's basketball, Unrivaled, WNBA is kind of my specialty and where I really thrive in from a betting perspective. We're going to be breaking down both those games first and giving my picks on those, and then we'll give you my favorite NBA pick. So that's what we got for today. We went 1-0 yesterday as the Bulls Heat game was postponed because of condensation. But we are 7-1 on our YouTube free plays since we've started this show. So hopefully we can make that 10-1 after today. Last week in Unrivaled, had a fantastic showing just purely from a game read perspective. Nailed the under on the miss game, really crushed the Rose pick very easily, crushed the Breeze pick. The only thing I really struggled with was the vinyl and the laces. And when you look at that game, the vinyl were up until the last 2 minutes of the third quarter, where the laces came back on top of Brittany Sykes, scoring 8 points in 50-something seconds. The vinyl just couldn't really come back for that. But what I didn't like about that game was there was no offensive structure. It was basically ISO, 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 ISO for both teams. That is not going to work in this league. Yes, they both have strong 1v1 players, but when you're going up against a strong 1v1 team in terms of defenders, that is not going to be the easiest thing for you. When I look at the Rose, so vinyl versus Rose, the Rose do have some strong on-ball defenders, particularly at the guard spots, right? So you look at Chelsea Gray, maybe not the best just pure defender, but just she's big and she's lengthy and she gets her hands in there. She can cause a lot of issues. If Ka Copper's playing, that's going to be an issue for them as well. Defensively, she's a strong defender. And then Lexi Hull is also a strong wing defender. But what I didn't like the most about the vinyl, again, was that offensive continuity. It was basically Ryan Howard thinking, I can take this person one-on-one and trying to, but then they were sending help on her all the time or taking really bad three-point shots. That just isn't how they're going to win. Defensively, they were getting burnt on ISO plays by the Laces. Now imagine a strong offensive structure like we saw at the Rose, which was arguably the most put together offensive structure I saw the whole first week. I loved what the Mist did, but I felt like there wasn't as much structure as it was like Veronica Burton doing a great job of kind of attacking and facilitating, and they were just kind of outmatching the Hive there. I liked what the Phantom did offensively. The Breeze picked it up later on, but the Rose, and that was all by Chelsea Gray. Chelsea Gray just had the most absurd passes. So one of the things I'm doing this year, as I do with WNBA and Unrivaled last year, is just tracking all the potentials. I'm not going to show this every time because it is my data. But what you can see here, you look at the vinyl here, right? They had a grand total of 27 potential assists. All right, the Laces were the worst team. They had 19. Then you look at the Rose. They had 33, with 21 of those coming from Chelsea Gray. I also liked what I saw from Sig Sutton as well, though. She was running the pick and roll really effectively, but Chelsea Gray, there is no way to defend that pick and roll with the kind of pocket passes she was making. Just truly phenomenal passing in that game. And really, to me, that's what's going to be the difference here. I think defensively, they can match up fine with the vinyl. I think offensively, they're going to be too much to handle. And I also like the second unit of the Rose a lot better than the vinyl. I made note of this in my thread, but when you look at a bottom three of Brittany Griner, Ray Burrell, and Erica Wheeler, right? Griner has a phenomenal career, Hall of Fame type of career. She's not that kind of player anymore, and she's also she's just not a fundamentally solid 3v3 player. She just can't get up the court that well. Ray Burrell is fine, but she's a backup. She didn't get that many minutes on the Sparks. And then Erica Wheeler, a solid player, right? And she started for the Storm a lot of games this year, but she's not going to be the star of a team. And I think she's actually really good in a 3v3 setting, but that is not a strong 1-3 lineup when you're looking at 3v3. So I think I love the starting minutes for the Rose, specifically with Chelsea Gray, but I also love that bench unit should be easily able to outperform the vinyl. So I took the Rose spread here. I believe I got it at -2.5. Going into the next game, we're going to jump over. We have the Breeze versus the Hive. And the Breeze have a lot of hype going into this game because they beat the Phantom. They beat them really well. across the board, kind of firing on all cylinders from a box score perspective. Meanwhile, the Hive looked like crap. I mean, just they looked like a team that had never played 3v3 before, and that's what it was. They looked like a team that was really going to be reliant on Kelsey Mitchell scoring a lot of buckets. They also looked like a team who didn't draft well. Ezzy should not have been the number 3 pick for this team. Monique Billings outperformed her, outplayed her, and that makes sense. That's kind of what her role is better fit for a 3v3 player. She can run better. She can shoot more of the middies better. I know Ezzy shot some threes this year for the Storm, but she's a 29% shooter. That's not really what her forte is, and she's not going to move as well as Monique. What I also thought was really bad was the spacing. Whenever they did run a pick and roll, what the Mist were doing was taking their big and providing that help defense, the help support coverage on Kelsey Mitchell. And the big for the Hive, whether that's Monique or Ezzy, was open to a degree. Had they just taken a few steps back and provided a bit more spacing, they were just right next to the big, running alongside of her, like, get away, let Kelsey pass. I think Kelsey's going to see that, and there's an opportunity for some more assist in this game from Kelsey, who also led the team in potential assist in this past game. But really, it's a size thing here, and that's what I thought about when I looked at the Mist game as well. I thought the size was going to be too much for the Hive when they don't have a ton of stuff really working for them here, right? They're basically 2 bigs and 4 guards, and not big guards either. So, and then also I think Citron is going to be a liability defensively. When she's going to get matched up on a Rakia Jackson, that's going to be an issue. What I liked about the Breeze is in the first half, they had, I think Paige Beckers had 3 potential assists. I mean, they had an ungodly low potential assist volume, I think 6 or 7 in the first half. They turned it around the second half of running more design plays, getting people open. Paige Beckers was doing a great job facilitating. She's also incredibly difficult to cover. I imagine we see Kelsey on Paige, but even Paige is kind of a big guard as well. I mean, this just isn't a great matchup for the Hive. Again, I think the Hive can be better later on, but this is not the matchup for them. So this came out, I believe, at 3.5. It bumped up to 5.5 on FanDuel, then was 4.5 on DK. I actually took the Breeze money line with the Mist money line as a parlay. So I got almost like plus 100 or even odds on that, and I took that at 1 unit. So those are my plays. As far as the other 2 games, jumping into that just real briefly, since I'm not going to be on the show tomorrow. Lunar Owls versus Phantom. I think the Lunar Owls are trash. If Skylar comes back, I think Skylar points is a play I would like, because I think that the Phantom are going to really struggle with Kelsey Plum and one-on-one coverage there. But the Phantom offensively was just too much, and they're going to be too much for the Lunar Owls. Aaliyah Edwards, if she's not able to play, if she's truly still out, they're going to get just smashed. And then the Laces versus the Mist, I just love what the Mist did. The Laces need to figure out what their offensive identity is, because they have 3 primary ball handlers and their 3 starting lineup, or their 3-player starting lineup, but none of them really know what they should be doing with the other player. And so that's really creating a lot of disconnect and not as great as spacing from my perspective. So I like the Mist in that as well. For the NBA, again, a huge slate, but I'm going to focus on one player in particular, and that's going to be Dyson Daniels. As we all know, Trae Young traded to the Wizards. Trae Young not in the lineup is huge for Dyson Daniels' usage as a point guard. So we're going to just quickly poke around here and show you a few things. You can't really, without Trae Young, looking at the PRA, he's hit his, well, I actually got it at 23.5, but now it's 24.5, and I would take it there too. But he hit 24.5, and let's see what 23.5 is, what I got that at. Okay, same hit rate. So 71.4% hit rate at that 23.5 or 24.5. That's solid. When you look at that, all right, now we're kind of talking here. But what I really like here is going to be the scoring potential of Dyson Daniels. When you look at how he gets out and moves, it's in transition, right? He can be a spot-up shooter, a pick-and-roll ball handler, all things the Nuggets can kind of struggle to defend, and especially how many people they have in and out of the lineup. Defensively, that can be an issue. I liked what they did against the Celtics, right? They were kind of giving them the solo matchup and saying, take us one-on-one, but we're not going to give you these opportunities, right? And I thought that was a strong game plan by them, and David Adelman is going to do a great job of doing that. But I think the focus here is going to be on stopping Jalen Johnson, not necessarily Dyson Daniels. So scoring-wise, I like that. The shot volume has been all right. We see the field goal attempts jump up to 12.1 without Trae Young. As of late, it's kind of up and down, but we're seeing that 13, 13, and 11. So I like to see that. If you hit 4 or 5 of those, you're at 10, 11, 12 points. And then he can be a dimer if he wants to be, and has been. You look at assist here, the 12 potentials, 11, 18, 12, 10, and 12. strong potential assist numbers. And then looking at rebound chances without Trae Young, 12.3. We're seeing 17 chances, 15, 8, 8, and 10. Those are strong leading indicators to see kind of what we can expect from him. But then what I also like about this is you look at what he's like in transition. So against bottom 15 transition teams, bottom 10 transition teams. Let's look at this. All right. Without Trae Young, the hit rate's 72.7%. Okay. That's still roughly the same, but I just love what we're seeing in terms of the overall volumes here. The field goal attempts go up, the rebounds go up, the assists go up. Let's look at rebound chances go up and potential assists go up as well. So we're seeing some of that strong, specifically without Trae Young in transition. I love what we see with Dyson Daniels. It's just a number that I don't feel like he's going to be able to, he should be able to meet with ease here. And then you look at, if you really like the historical thing, I don't typically like that as much, but historically speaking, he's done well against the Nuggets. Hit this in the one matchup he had. Again, not really why I'm playing this, but I always like to see that as well. So it's just a nice indicator. I'm not going to expect a lot of defensive changes specifically on Dyson Daniels in this game. So those are my 3 plays. We have the Rose spread. We have the Breeze money line with the missed money line. We also have the Phantom spread and the missed spread. And then we have Props Madness. We have Dyson Daniels for the NBA slate. So check us out. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe. We'll be dropping this Monday through Friday. If you want more and all access to all of my bets, check out the Discord link in the bio. That's where I'm dropping all my plays. Plus, we have several other fantastic cappers in there as well. Matt's going to be crushing golf. We got Logan on the money lines and spreads. We got Will crushing college props. Ryan does soccer. And then we got Assassin kind of doing the same thing I'm doing, but in a little bit of a different style and a very profitable style as well. So make sure to check us out there. That's all I got for today. Have a great day, y'all. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week.